What is going on? And we are going to get into what is and not possible, right? Because if you were to spell the word impossible, you have the word I'm possible in there. And, when you look at things like that, you have to understand certain things, right? Is it possible to create your own family? If that's the case, then a biological one is not one that you need, but a family, the one that cares and actually steps up for you instead of stepping to the side to see what happens to you because they align themselves with other people since they have a sadistic personality type or they're narcissist, etc. And they just get pleasure out of watching the pain of others. Remember, misery loves company, and you wonder why you're in the situation that you're in. Now, let's think about this for a second, right? Because family is on one case, right? And Warren Buffett normally dictates it's not your net worth, but your network that helps you increase your net worth. So if your family, i.e. your business family members, so on and so forth, were to come together and assist you, if you remember the last video where I talked about angel, what does it mean? You can have an angel investor in business. If you have multiple angel investors, i.e. utilizing the phrase surround yourself with a multitude of counsel, then you would see what is actually possible in the world, right? Or wrong. Possibly right? Because they have access, right? And that's exactly what you need. So what is in an acronym or a name for that matter, right? So what is in a name that which we call a rose that smells so sweet, right? Well, let's ask the secret order of the rose. Or if you are in a courtroom, let's go with supra rosa, so on and so forth, right? Which is a Latin term used in certain contexts in the legal status, because you could say sub rosa, which means under the rose, supra rosa, like the Supra car, etc., made by Toyota, pronounced in a Latin fashion with a slight accent. And then rosa, rose, above the rose, meaning anything in secret is now going to come out into public. And you normally would state this to a judge according to, well, not only my own research from Raleigh's Public Law Library, but also with ChatGPT. And you could check that out for yourself because every industry has its own jargon, right? And it's up to marketers and copywriters to understand that jargon in case they are working with attorneys or people in the medical field or other industries to speak to a certain demographic and psychologically speak to individuals based upon their psychographics, right? Because you have to speak to the masses, right? So let's get into this, right? Because, well, what's in an acronym, right? If I said, oh, I'm starting a company, do you think the acronym GAG is better and we could save businesses that might be close to getting canceled, otherwise known as gagged, right? And we're a problem-solving company since, obviously marketing is not something that many people want me to get into. But then I have another acronym called GAS, right? Whereas businesses or people that are out there, so on and so forth, are coming close because gas is made from, well, fossil fuels. And because, well, fossil fuels are already the decay of the dead, well, your business, you're not the only person on the block that's doing what you're doing. So if your business dies, that money is going to go somewhere else and used as fuel, time, energy, and attention, because that's what money gets you, right? It's a tool, remember that. So it'll go somewhere else. So are you going to fix it, or are you going to let the displacement happen? So what's not possible and what is possible? Let's get into it. And if you're liking this video so far, go ahead and smash that like button. Don't forget to follow me, and or please, by all means, share this with somebody. Maybe they are looking for help. Maybe you're not, but maybe you know somebody who is, right? So let's open up your aperture and your mind a little bit and get you to do some research, right? So Bill Gates apparently is behind the Impossible Burger. Now, mind you, they have made a food source that is supposed to be impossible. So you mean to tell me you can and you do have the ability to stop hunger with the Impossible Burger? Okay, perfect. No problem. It's synthetic meat, etc., so on and so forth. Now let's talk about the healthcare system and how they have their own police. And well, they like to go undercover too, because not all of them wear scrubs. Some of them will show up in the back of your car while you're driving Lyft or Uber and try to sneak words in order to get a message across, right? And don't worry, for you nurses or undercovers out there that are all my patients now, right? I had to warn you in Raleigh. Now I'm telling you here. Tread lightly, for you do not know what you are doing. For you do not know what you are doing. Because if the Impossible Burger is for real, which it's being sold, that's fact. You guys could go ahead and research that. And then we have CRISPR technology. That's real. That's scientific. That's a fact. All you techies out there can educate them on that. And then, of course, you have large language models, otherwise referred to as artificial intelligence. Well, those three things added up with, well, stem cell research, not STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but those combined, right? You can, well, make replica of kidneys, livers, and other organs, right? Could you not? Could you not utilize stem cells with the stem cell research to grow? Instead of harvesting, you can actually grow in a lab, just like synthetic diamonds are made, organs for people that need them. Right? So if you need a kidney, you can have not only an exact match that would not be rejected by a body, so on and so forth, because it's an exact match based upon their stem cells, etc. You can make sure all the kinks are out of it with CRISPR technology. Thank you very much. And then you can also speed up the process with the large language models, otherwise referred to as AI, in order to improve not only efficiencies and speed of execution, but to actually solve the problems at hand instead of causing so many freaking issues. Yes or yes? Medical field scientists, answer in the comment section if you feel as such as you need to do so, as you feel as though you need to speak out loud when you say, oh, this patient is mine. All your asses are mine. Remember that. Because we're all being heard, we're all being listened to, and what you do behind closed doors, everyone else will know about it. So let's shine some light on things, right? Which means that, well, we can stop things like, oh, well, we don't have you on the list for a heart transplant, which would be bullshit, because now you can, well, grow that thanks to the Impossible Burger, connecting some dots or putting some puzzle pieces together. You can synthesize and work on blood results if people have issues with their blood. Use CRISPR technology to reprogram DNA and load it up like a damn, I don't know, antivirus, etc., giving the genetic patterns a way to fight back to reprogram the rest of the cells in the body. And for those of you who think I'm off my rocker, no, I was never a staff sergeant or gunny in the military. I was an NCO though, so I don't need a rocker because I could stand on my own 2 feet. I'll let you look at a chevron for that. But what you can do is fix a lot of problems that are currently occurring instead of squeezing people for so much money, valuable time and effort that they put into in order for what? You to come in and just take it and then give false hope? This is the cognitive dissonance that I'm going to introduce to people. So, if you haven't played with ChatGPT or Google's Gemini, please do so and ask it a couple questions like, what is CRISPR technology? What is stem cell research? What is the Impossible Burger, right? What do those three things have in common, and could they be utilized in order to not only increase the efficiencies of the healthcare, but to heal the populace, not just within the United States, but outside of it as well, healing the world, giving people the organs that they need that may have failed due to the science experiments of what's being put in things like products that are being sold for consumption, etc., that causes all these issues. You guys are literally the cause of the problems that you're spending so much money on. So, if you got anything out of this video, right, remember, it's not your net worth, but your network that helps you gain and level up in life. And that can be your family, that could be your crew, that could be your boys, that could be whatever the case may be, your gang, so on and so forth. Vet Gang, what's good? My hat's on the way. Can't wait to rock it next time. So, anyways, I wanted to give a shout out to someone named Kimmy who's on TikTok. She's doing content. It's amazing. She was the one that told me about the Vet Gang hat. And then, of course, there's a couple other individuals. But for those of you that are profiteering instead of profiting in order to make a difference in the world, I'm letting you know now that the AI issue, right, is not an issue. It's a way to solve problems. But if you're going to stop everybody and try to enact, well, Title 50 or the FISA Act or the secrecy agreement, so on and so forth, why don't people go out and research why these things get developed, why they get put into law, constitution, and everything else? And before you penalize me, remember, this is a form of expression, which is also under, well, the First Amendment, right, within the Constitution, which is protected by the freedom of speech. So before you try to go to a judge, before you try to go to law enforcement, before you try to go to an intelligence agency, right, so on and so forth, or utilize any different facet, right, understand this. I am utilizing and exercising my First Amendment right in order to educate and help not just people here, but anyone that watches this video, and maybe they will get a thought or a seed will get planted that they one day can possibly change the world. And by following me, they are now a part of my family, my network. And when one eats, we all eat, right? Because you get paid from, well, not only advertisements, but whatever is being sold. I'm not selling anything here, but if I get enough subscribers, people will go ahead and pay to interject during this video to try to sell you something or convince you of something that you might want to buy or need to buy, called an advertisement. And that is like a trailer to a movie, correct? Yes or yes? And then I would get AdSense from there. So I will help you with knowledge and information, so on and so forth, so that you guys could go out there and better the world, because obviously there are different laws in different locations. Some things apply to some things apply to others, but I'm pretty sure that they want the problems solved, not just treated. So till next time, my friends, if you got anything out of this, go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow, and share this with somebody so that we can change the world together. Till next time, my friends, take care, and I'll see you on the next lesson or episode of either class or Finding Freedom. Take care. Mwah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.